I'm joined now by Senator Dianne Feinstein, the top Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee. Thanks so much for being here with us today. The head of British intelligence this week said something that was chilling. He said that the world should be prepared for a possible mass casualty attack. What's your read on that? You see these intelligence reports. Do you feel the same way?
Well, as far as I know, after looking at the reports I've seen, there is no credible, defined threat of that. I think this is within the realm of possibility. I think we're in an all-out situation. France has declared war. What that means, I'm not quite sure, but we're going to see.
Well, what's an appropriate response then if they've declared war? What's the retaliation?
That's not for me to decide. That's for France to decide. But I think what they're saying is that there will be a unified national effort to rid the country of terrorists. And that's difficult to do because they're deeply embedded. I think there are sleeper cells not only in France, but certainly in other countries. And yes, even in our own. So I think this calls for vigilance. It calls for seeing that the national security organizations of our country, the intelligence community is funded fully, is directed ably, is cooperating with whether it be British intelligence, French intelligence, German intelligence, as we do. And the French are good at it, and so are the British and the Germans. So hopefully we can even be more active in terms of doing those things which enable us to find terrorists, to see who they're communicating with in this country, and to track that.
Well, you're responsible for intelligence oversight. Do you believe the intelligence community here keeps better track than the French did on those people who traveled to Yemen, and they just kind of went off the radar screen? Do you believe we do a better job of it here?
To the best of my knowledge, the French have more than we do.
So how do you explain this failure?
The expectation has been that the foreign fighters coming back from Syria or even Iraq, trained to some extent, will likely first go to the European community. So
how do you explain this failure?
Well, this is extraordinarily difficult to do. They had these people under surveillance for a substantial period of time. There are a lot of pressures. I don't know what the financial situation is. I don't know whether they've had cutbacks or what, but this has to now be all out. And if war means anything, it's all out intelligence. The way you stop this is intelligence. And the way intelligence works is to disrupt the plot before it takes place.
Because they were French citizens, these terrorists could have come here. They were on a no-fly list.
That's correct.
But they could have come here with just their passports under the U.S. visa waiver program. So if the U.S. fly list had not stopped them, they could have landed here. So is the visa program a hole in the security net?
This is not new for me. I serve on the Judiciary Committee as well, and it's my belief, and I've said this publicly many times, that the visa waiver program is the Achilles heel of America. Because you're right, Gloria, they can come back from training, they go through a visa waiver country, and they come into this country. Now, there are no-fly lists, there are terrorist lists, but they're in the tens of thousands and even millions, so it's difficult to ferret someone out. There are stolen travel documents, large numbers that they can pick up a false passport, etc. So we have a big problem there. I think we need to take a look at the visa waiver program again and see what we can do to prevent this kind of thing from happening, because I believe it will happen, if it hasn't already.
When the president spoke about his anti-ISIS campaign last fall, he said that he compared his strategy to the one that the U.S., quote, has successfully pursued in Yemen and Somalia for years. Looking at what happened in Paris this week and looking at the connections between Yemen and these terrorists, was the president on the wrong track with that example?
Well, I don't quite know what he was referring to, so
Yeah.
it's hard for me to comment. But Yemen, you know, we have a very serious bomb maker still alive. They are now putting out propaganda for the most serious kind of bomb making, a target list, planes to bomb, where to sit on the plane. And this material circulates freely throughout the internet. It is comprehensive. I've just reviewed it, and it's a very deep concern to me. Now, what you do about this, I don't know. Is it a problem in terms of recruitment? I believe it is a big problem.
So, I mean, could you censor the internet? Could you say
Well,
these things should not be allowed on the internet?
I don't know. I did the bomb-making legislation that's now law based on the terrorist handbook in the 90s. And if you have knowledge and intent that your material is in fact going to be used for an attack, it is a felony. The Justice Department has prosecuted a few people for this, not a lot. They say it's very difficult, as we know. But that's where we are. When you have a recipe for a very serious bomb out there on the internet, you need to deal with it. Because we know the people who put it there intend to have it used for a criminal act.
Let me just switch topics on you for one quick second about General Petraeus. You have worked with General Petraeus. There are reports that the Justice Department, prosecutors may have a document on the Attorney General's desk recommending prosecution. Would an indictment be appropriate as far as you're concerned, and has this been handled appropriately?
Well, let me say what I think. This man has suffered enough, in my view. He's the four-star general of our generation. I saw him in Iraq. He put together the Army Field Manual. He put together the Awakening and how it worked out. He, I think, is a very brilliant man. People aren't perfect. He made a mistake. He lost his job as CIA director because of it. I mean, how much do you want to punish somebody? Now, I don't know whether he directly gave material to her or not. I know she had access to classified data by her own classification, so it's murky. But be that as it may, it's done, it's over, and he's retired. He's lost his job. I mean, how much does government want?
So I hear you saying that you shouldn't be indicted.
I think that's correct.
Senator Feinstein, thanks so much for being with us today, as
Thank
always.
you,
Thank
Gloria.
you.